Vexcalibur is a new exotic glaive that arrived in Destiny 2 this week alongside a new secret exotic mission. Well, the glaive itself has a very cool Vex design, plus the exotic mission is classic Destiny 2, harking back to the days of the Whisper and the 0 Hour missions. This one was a massive surprise, and today I want to walk you through all the steps for how to access the mission, then how to complete the various parts of the mission itself, plus we're going to have a look at the Vexcalibur in Destiny 2. Well, if you're new around here or find this useful, don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below for all the latest Destiny 2 content, and turn on notifications by hitting that bell, and roughly 95% of viewers who watch This Week in Video Games aren't subscribed. So subscribe today and never miss an update. Well, before we get into it, let me know in the comments what you thought of that exotic mission, plus what do you think of the Vexcalibur itself. Well, the Vexcalibur is an exotic energy glaive, and it can give you an overshield. Once you've got that overshield, it then increases the overall damage output of the glaive. So more on the Vexcalibur later on, but first, let's have a look at that exotic mission, and that is called the Variable. Okay, first of all, how to access the Variable exotic mission. So what you want to do first is make your way to the Gulch, and that is a landing zone in the EDZ, and here you're going to need to collect 6 glowing Vex cubes, and after you collect a cube, you'll add another couple of digits to the access code, and that is seen in the bottom left hand corner of the screen. After you collect a cube, you'll add an additional 30 seconds onto your timer, and then you've got to collect them all before the timer runs out. Once you collected all the codes, it reads Simulated Cave Access Code. You got 53, 43, 52, 49, 42, 45, and that is in the bottom left hand corner of the screen. Then look up in the sky and you can see a massive Vex portal. You want to make your way under this and you'll find the entrance to a cave. So go in the cave and then make your way through and start that mission. Well, the first part of the mission is called the Vex Trenches, and here what you have to do is make your way through a maze-like structure. Essentially, you want to make your way down, and the objective is to keep going down, so look out for small holes in the wall, and the space is designed to hide the path forward. So you will have to look around and search for it, but keep looking for little gaps to go through and making your way down, and eventually you will enter the Vex network itself. Well, next up, we've got to explore the Vex network, and you have to enter codes. The next section is all about battling off the Vex, entering the codes on the spires. So if you can do this in a team, it is going to be much easier. It definitely is possible to do this solo, but it's going to be tough in the latter part of the mission. And what you're looking for is a key, and this will show you the code that you need to enter. So the key is basically a pattern, and it's hidden just to the side of the Vex structure itself. And then it will move around the map, so each time you have to enter the code, you have to go and hunt for that key. So that key is going to show you the code that you need to enter, then shoot the right shape as they appear on the spire. You will need to do this 3 times, and battle back against the Vex while you're entering the code. So one tip here is to take care of these snipers, as they can definitely one-shot you. So once you completed the first spire, you move through to another room, this time with more powerful enemies. And repeat the same process, look for the key, enter the correct pattern in the spire, all the while battling back against the Vex. So do take things slow, don't die, because you're going to go right back to the start of the section, and that can be very, very frustrating indeed. When you completed both rooms, you'll then move on to the next section where you have to defeat a powerful Vex, including a yellow bar wyvern called the Digital Variant Neutralizer. To defeat all the Vex, then it's on to the next part of the quest. Well, next up we got continue to explore the Vex network. So next up we got another exploration section. This is fairly straightforward. There's mild jumping puzzles here, but you just want to keep pushing forward until you get to the jump and the rally flag. Well, the next encounter is another combat encounter. This one is called Data Nullifier. So the objective here is to kill Vex so they drop data. You need to collect that data and deposit the data in the middle point. Once you've deposited the right amount of data, indicating on the left-hand side of the screen, the floor will open up and you have to jump in there and hide. And you will then drop through the floor into a portal, and then you just simply have to repeat the process. So this boss is split into phases and it gets progressively harder as things progress. I did this as part of a team as I wasn't really getting anywhere solo. However, it is possible to do solo if you are high enough power level. Once you've beaten the mini-boss here, then it's more jumping puzzles and make your way forward through the Vex network until you get to the final boss, who is a familiar face from the Pyramidion Strike. Okay, next up we've got the variant Stalker Brachion repurposed mines. There's 3 phases to the final boss fight. First, you have to deal damage to Brachion. Second, you have to break the symbol codes again like we did earlier in the mission. Then finally, there's one more damage phase. So for that first phase of the fight, clear out the enemies and then deal as much damage to Brachion as possible. And try to use the walls and the environment to shield you from Brachion's laser attacks. Second part is similar to the first phase of the mission, where you have to break the code whilst beating back the enemies. Probably the hardest part of the final boss fight due to the sheer number of enemies. So break the code 3 times and then you move on to the final phase. So Brachion is now mad and he's chasing after you, so keep on the move and watch out for these smaller exploding enemies. Keep focused on damaging Brachion, take him down, and that is it. Mission complete, and congratulations, go and pick up your Vexcalibur. Well, let's have a closer look at the Vexcalibur itself. It's an exotic energy glaive that deals void damage and has a couple of exotic perks. So Perpetual Loophole, so deal additional melee damage while protected by an overshield, and defeating targets with melee final blows while the overshield is active will refresh it. And then you got M1R Distribution Matrix, fires a spread, equipped with a quick draining shield. Blocking damage with your shield gradually bestows void overshields to yourself and nearby allies. So what this means is we can use the Glaive's block to build up an overshield for you and your fire team. Once you've got a good overshield, then it's going to boost your damage output on melee attacks with the Glaive. Overall, it is a fantastic combination, the exotic Glaive and the secret mission. We get hints of Asher Mir, the crazy old scientist from Io, and the Pyramidion Strike. And the final boss is essentially the Pyramidion boss battle, but redesigned and repurposed to look and feel fresh. Now, Bungie get a lot of flack for recycling content. However, if they continue to repurpose assets like this, then, to be honest, I don't really mind. Secret exotic missions are some of the best content in Destiny 2. Well, let me know in the comments what you think about the Vexcalibur and also that exotic mission. And that is it for this guide for how to get the Vexcalibur in Destiny 2. And as always, thank you so much for watching or listening. For more Destiny 2 content like this, hit that subscribe button down below and subscribe to This Week in Video Games. Or you can check me out on Twitter at TWIVG Podcast. If you enjoyed this video, found it useful, liking and sharing the video would really help me out. Otherwise, check out the other videos on the channel. Thanks again, and I'll see you soon.